Now, is this something you would put in a margarita or no? Is this something that you sip?
Yeah, you can definitely put this in a margarita. Other cocktails, they got a bunch of cocktails on their website. But I think you also want to, the flavors that it has are, a little bit nuanced. So if you're going to put it in a margarita, it might get lost a little bit, but it's going to have that little heat behind it.
And people do like all different flavors of margaritas. And I like just the traditional, lemon, lime, or whatever that flavor is, with some salt on the rocks, and I'm good to go. Yeah. But a lot of people like the different flavors, and this is a great opportunity to try a new one.
It really is from a really good brand, obviously iconic brand, Cuervo, who are the kind of the gold standard of tequila, kind of brought the idea of tequila to the U.S. and date back into the 1800s with making tequila and getting it classified in the region in Mexico.
So can I go back, because we've talked about it before, but I love when you break down history. So the agave from what region?
So it's the Jalisco region, and it's the Weber blue agave plant that is specifically used for tequila. If we're talking other agave-based products like mezcal, there's other species of tequila. So it was around the 1800s when they classified it as that's the region and the allowable agave. Agave is kind of hard to grow, but people have been making an alcoholic beverage out of agave for probably 1,000 years or more, dating all the way back to the
Aztecs.
The Aztecs who lived there, they didn't have distillation, but they were making it a fermented beverage.
Was it more medicinal, or it was just?
Oh yeah, of course.
Life messed up
back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was.
That was it.
It was medicine. It was also a preservative, and also probably a way to enjoy their evening.
They had parties.
Well, of course you had to.
It's called pulque, and it is still made today, but it has a really short shelf life. So you kind of have to make it and drink it right away. You'll never really see it on the shelf.
Does it put hair on your chest?
You know what?
Or make it go away.
So that could be. Yeah. Was there an actual Jose Cuervo? Is that a person?
Mm-hmm. There was a Jose Cuervo, and it was the mid-1800s when he got the first governmental seal of approval, I guess we could put it, to make tequila in the Jalisco region, which is what kind of made tequila what it is.
Wow. Well, this one is as I said, a relatively new one from Jose Cuervo, Devil's Reserve, which I've always been told if there's a devil's picture on alcohol, you got to tread lightly because you don't know what kind of damage that is going to do. But this is more about spice.
Yeah, it's about spice. It's a really good label.
It is a great label. Yes.
And it is spicy, so they kind of describe it sweet heat. So it has kind of a fruity taste to it with some fruit, natural fruit, and also habanero. Oh. And then it also spends a little bit of time in oak to bring in a vanilla component and a little nuttiness as well. So you kind of have that combination. And last week we talked about flavored vodka, and vodka is something with a neutral flavor. So getting the flavors. You have different options. If you're flavoring whiskey and tequila, you got to take into consideration, well, people might want to actually taste the agave. So the flavoring kind of can't get in the way of the agave flavor, if that makes sense.
Yeah. How many flavored tequilas are there? Because I'm racking my brain right now and I'm thinking, well, usually it's just añejo, that's it, and then...
Well... Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Because that's a classification, but not a flavor.
Okay. But it does taste different.
It does. So there's 1800 makes a coconut, and there's a few others lying, you can try to use.
Not as many as flavored whiskeys or flavored vodkas.
Right. Okay. Exactly. And añejo is aged. And reposado is rested. So that is referencing the production method.
Okay.
And then the new...
But it does add flavor.
Well, yes, the oak will add flavor and the oxidation, yeah. Okay. We'll add some flavor and color to it. And then the new one is called Cristalino, which is, you've ever had the Cristalino?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of a
good
new technology.
Cristalino, okay.
So you take an añejo tequila and filter it and remove... like the color that the oak gives it, but just retain all the flavors.
No.
Cristalino, that's next on the list.
Where does tequila fall in popularity? I feel like a lot more people are drinking just sipping a tequila on the rocks these days than they did 25, 30 years ago. I mean, when you were in college, you did the, salt and the lime and you shot it. Now I'm seeing more and more people, that's their go-to drink.
Yeah, I think it's really transcended from that original, we're just going to shoot it. And Cuervo was a big part of that. And maybe people listening remember having that experience. And then maybe, a difficult time the next day. But it's transitioned into an actual category of beverage that goes beyond just cocktails and shooting it to where you can have these premium experiences. And so that's the really fun, industry change, to see whiskey go from kind of being just, we're just going to have whiskey in our cocktail to actually, someone purchasing it for a premium
for
taste it by itself.
Whiskey itself.
Right.
Yes.
Or, proud that they found something nobody else could find. And tequila is not quite there, but it is a beverage that people seek out for itself to drink it on its own with some ice or something.
I was doing a little research into the bottle because, like you said, the label is really, really cool. And the devil's illustration is inspired by Mexican folk art, which the traditional Mexican illustrations and different art styles. I mean, it is really a cool kind of picture.
Yeah, I think the folks at Cuervo did a really good job with this particular label. One of the things about the industry that I'm in, somebody's kicking off something new every week.
All the time.
And sometimes, you might look at it and go, will that make it? That label's kind of plain or it's kind of goofy. Or this one, I thought the name and the label really was kind of helping us to market it for people that
I think you're right. Yeah.
Are all Jose Cuervo bottles shaped the same?
Yeah, I think so. That's got that iconic kind of square shape. I'm trying to think of any in that line that I've seen that aren't like that, and I don't think so. The bottle's a little bit of a different size than the other ones. But when you go to Dirt Cheap, and we can talk about some
they've got some special stuff
coming up where you can try this, and you'll easy to find.
Yeah, and it's a green bottle, an orange cap, kind of a teal wraparound, but yeah, it's a cool kind of thing. Speaking of, the Devil's Reserve Bronco is going to be appearing at 3 of the Dirt Cheap locations next week. So Wednesday from noon to 2, they'll be in St. Charles off Kisker Road. Thursday, noon to 2, they'll be in St. Louis off Telegraph. And then Thursday from 3 to 5, they'll be at the Dirt Cheap in Fenton on Gravois. And the Bronco looks really cool, too.
It does. I haven't seen it in person. So I'm looking forward to trying to get out there and check it out. It looks really... I don't even know if I'm cool enough to stand next to it.
I was going to say,
very cool.
Not really probably just to see it and kick tires. They'll probably be letting you do some samples as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And that'll be a good opportunity for you to get some cocktail recipes. You can also get all of your rest of your ingredients there for your cocktail that they'll have available, a bag of ice, and you're ready to go home and try it out.
I would say Dirt Cheap does have a little bit of everything. I was looking at the drink strategy that Jose Cuervo put out. If you just want a shot of it, they say slightly above freezing is what you should do.
Yeah, and
I'm assuming they're talking about the liquid, not you, the person.
Yeah. Well, I think any way you are, you can have it. Yeah. But also it's 30% alcohol when normal spirits are 40%. So, take that into consideration. You're also going to probably add a little, something else to a triple sec or something. So, I would put this bottle in the freezer. Why not? Refrigerator. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it cold.
Okay. Then a typical ranch water is what? Tequila and...
Yeah.
Is it just that
is a
soda water,
that is more of a newer cocktail that has been developed. I think that's kind of in that category of
like a sparkling water, probably,
right.
And
trying to take the tequila category and moving it into other options besides just thinking of a margarita. And the popularity right now of flavored seltzers and, carbonated beverages kind of intersecting with alcohol beverages kind of puts it into that category.
Yeah. Online, Jose Cuervo, the Devil's Reserve, has so many options. They have what they call the Sun Devil. They've got the Blue Devil. They've got the Devil Goes Down to Georgia. Devil's Chilled Shot, the Devil's Tonic, Devil's Sunrise, Devil's Mule, and then the Devil's Soda. So a lot of the same cocktails that we see used with maybe vodka can be used with tequila to just give it a different flavor profile.
Yeah, I think the companies like the company that makes Cuervo nowadays, they're kind of like, well, we've got to market our product to people other than just the margarita. So that's where we get ranch water. That's where we get these other cocktails.
I like the tequila sunrise.
Yeah.
Little orange juice and tequila.
And and that's kind of an older style, but making a comeback.
Yeah.
Definitely making a comeback.
What else are you pouring these days? Anything catching your attention?
Well, we've got some big holidays coming up. Well, Cinco de Mayo, obviously, people are going to be trying a lot of tequila, and also Easter's coming up, and that's a good wine holiday. So
that's one where you need a bunch of wine on the table because you got to have the white and the red, maybe a little rosé as well.
Well, you do rosé, very seasonal, moving into spring, summer, and also it's one of those meals that you've got a lot of different side dishes. So maybe you're having ham or traditional or something else, so you have a lot of options. But I also say it gives you the opportunity to think about that person at your table that might only like sweet wine.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we have something for everybody. But Easter's like Thanksgiving. You don't have to have one wine open on the table. And since I'm in the business, I'd prefer that you had more options.
Absolutely. I can't believe that we're already talking about Easter, but I mean, the next time we see you, it'll already be April. So,
like heading into this, so we got Easter, Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day, enjoy a glass of wine with mom. And, and then the holidays just keep all through summer.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a lot to talk about, I think, coming up.
Let's be honest. I don't have to have a holiday on the calendar. It can just be a beautiful day and sitting on a patio.
If we can finally get one.
That's right.
Nice. Yeah.
So true. Mike Ward, if people have a question for you before next Friday?
Mike at wardonwine.com. Have a great weekend. Go out and see that. Go out to our friends at Dirt Cheap and see that Bronco.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
The Bronco, and then do a little sample of the Jose Cuervo Devil's Reserve.